Well, I'm happy to announce the next presentation is going to be Karolina Bolesta and Nidhi Chamotra, the IT managers from Procter Gamble. And the ladies will tell us how the cybersecurity looks like during the COVID-19 pandemic. Karolina, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today, and we will be presenting the Webscan services at Procter Gamble. So my name is Karolina Bolesta, and I am the IT manager for global sales system at Procter Gamble. And together today I am with Nidhi.
Okay, yeah, so hi guys, hello everyone. It has been a privilege that I've been entrusted with this platform to share the processes and role which we are playing for the cybersecurity within P&G. So as you know, thank you for Karolina introduction. So my name is Nidhi Chamotra. I'm working in P&G as an IT manager in InfoSec domain. I'm responsible for global level for all P&G websites and mobile application security, including, yeah, as I said, mobile application as well. So our team is spread across globally and working 24/7 services in order to secure the platform and the applications which P&G owns. So today we will be sharing some key insight of my role and what we do in P&G to keep the web applications and the application secure and safe. But before that, I think Karolina would like to walk us through the important aspects of our work. So over to you, Karolina.
Thank you, Nidhi. So let's start with a short introduction of what we do. So the history of P&G started with two men, and it was William Procter, a candle maker, and James Gamble, a soap maker. So they were both businessmen, and they had some experience, and every year the company was growing. And currently we operate in 70 countries, but our products are available all over the world in 180 countries. And apart from our core business, we also organize and take part in many environmental and social activities. So today we have a very long history, but at the same time, we are a very modern company because we believe that innovation is the core of our business, and we also know that technology is the foundation of innovation. So that is why we know that diverse organizations are much more effective, particularly when it comes to innovation itself. So how technology is changing now? P&G serves the consumer. And right now we are leveraging artificial intelligence to deliver like some teeth cleaning experience with the app. So we can connect our brush to the app and then check how is it going, our care. And also we are using facial recognition to analyze the skin and recommend the best care for the specific person. Another example is how consumers interact with our brands. So we are combining consumers' offline purchase data with information about how people react to our digital advertising in order to make the best prediction for next actions. So here P&G managers and our supply chain and distribution network are using robots, for instance, the driverless forklift, in some of our warehouses, and we keep expanding to more locations. So after the short introduction, let me hand over to Nidhi, who will tell us about the Webscan services in P&G. So Nidhi, over to you.
Thank you, Karolina. So, so what you see right now is the agenda, what we are going to have today. So I will be telling you a bit more about the service which I am running in P&G, and something more about the vulnerabilities, why we are running these services, and you know, the takeaways, or what we call in P&G, the lessons learned based on our cases or some other cases which is happening in the global level. So yeah, so maybe Karolina, we can move to the next slide. So since the web application is the most vulnerable and the most fastest growing applications, and why it is so, and why we are targeting only the web application, because of these are the applications in the market which are the fastest evolving applications, and based on the technologies and the speed they are growing, we have to also acknowledge, or the vulnerabilities also coming with them. So the more complicated these websites are becoming, the more vulnerabilities are coming, and the speed is something which we have to also catch up with. So that's why we are right now focusing on the web application in PNG. And the second topic is like why we have to, even though we have a firewall or like an infrastructural defense in PNG or any other companies, it is not considered as sufficient proof or sufficient parameters to consider any application as a secured one or not. So you can take it from the example that you have a very sophisticated alarm system in your car, and you have kept the door open, and these open doors is something which we are talking right now going to about. So these are the vulnerabilities which we are going to talk in the other slides as well. So one of the reasons why the web applications are the main target of the attacks by the hackers or script kiddies or any other person who want to harm the company or harm the reputation is that it is easily give you the access to the database or the information system where you can just pull the information such as the customers information or the financial information such as the credit cards and all the details. So that is why the web applications are considered as the most vulnerable applications or vulnerable platform in PNG or in nowadays. So maybe Karolina, you can move forward. The impact of the web application and it's when it happens and the attack it happened is huge. One more step, Karolina. There is an animation. Yeah, thank you. So we cannot, when it comes to or when we think about the attacks happen and the impact of those attacks, so the huge big companies such as PNG, we can recover from the financial loss in certain period of time, the business disruption in certain period of time, business functionality, yes, we can also pull ourselves back up and walk again. However, there are 2 points which it takes time to build up, which is called reputational loss and the customer trust loss. So these are the 2 losses which we don't or we cannot afford to have it because of it takes years and years to build this up, and it takes a huge effort in order to have this one. So the impact of the web application attack is huge when it comes to these 2 points, but rest of the points are still it's still matchable, or you can consider it a big points as well. So yeah, Karolina, next point. So so I will be walking through these attacks and which happened in the past and why, because of these attacks or like because of similar attacks, why we have to also consider the vulnerabilities. So I will be coming back on the vulnerabilities and why we are considering vulnerabilities as, in fact, what is the vulnerability? So this we will be covering later, but these are the attacks to understand that attacks can happen anywhere. So gadget like, Amazon, WordPress, or there are more examples, in fact, in the global level that you won't even realize that it is happening for such a period of time, and it exists. So these are the lessons learned for us as a cyber community, which we need to change the perception and see the cyber security as a business sustainability solution, but not just an IT solution or antivirus or malware detection system. There you just install and get rid of it. That's that's like that. So this is another example where the vulnerability existed in the system for a long time, and it has been assumed that the vulnerability has been fixed, but the hacker was still sitting there and taking out all the account related information. So there is another example. If Karolina, you can move to next slide. So the Equifax is also one of the example of web attack which happened in May 2017, and it was the biggest breach of the customer data where it where the company lost 143 million of the customer information to the hacker, and the vulnerability was known for a few months and it was not fixed. So that is where we also taking the lessons, and we wanted to emphasize that we have whatever the open loops we have or open doors we have, we wanted to acknowledge it, and we wanted to identify them, and we wanted to close them. So yeah, so I think Karolina, next slide. Thank you. So I've been talking about the vulnerabilities a lot. So what are the vulnerabilities, to be precise? So in cybersecurity, there are lots of, the technologies are coming and going, Visual Studio, GitHub, GitLab, and all those new technologies which are emerging every day. So every technology has some open loopholes, or we can say a weakness in the information structure itself, which allows a hacker to take an advantage and get into the system. So any risk that is left behind is leaving the information system or information security exposed to the threat or attacks. So you need to know, the first question is like, you need to know how much vulnerable you are in order to identify and say that you are secure or not. So this is question number one, which we have to identify, and which we do in PNG in order to see the risk level we are containing in all our websites. So yeah, so Karolina, can we move to the next slide? Coming back from the vulnerability to the service we are running. So in general, the infrastructure defense and firewall alone is not enough, and to secure the valuable assets of from the advanced attacks. So like I said, that even if you have the sophisticated structure or sophisticated fire alarm, but if you're keeping your house door open, it will not help you. So if you have any vulnerability in your infrastructure, then these vulnerability works as subordinate of attackers and allow them to get into the system very easily. So here, my role is to ensure that we as a service keep a constant eye over the security of all brands, which is challenging considering the stake we have if we fail to do so. So, we are challenged with each minute emerging technology, where I and my team is in the forefront to anticipate the potential threats and vulnerabilities and analyze their severity and their potential impact on the system, and decide like what we are going to do further. So regardless of how big is the website or how small is the website, we need to scan each and every site in order to ensure that there is nothing there is no vulnerability left on them. Karolina, next slide. Let me introduce you a bit more about the processes and how we do the security, or how we contribute in the PNG in terms of security. So as Karolina has said, the PNG has a 175 years and of history, and it owns more than 50 brands. And so considering the quantity and the extent of the company, we have new campaigns, new developed websites every day, and especially when it has some seasons or something. So sometimes it's very challenging to maintain the pace of their development, which is with our security speed, so which is very dynamic. So we have to run with their pace. So their development, and since they have this huge the brand base, so there are the development or the technical agencies working with them in order to develop these websites. In-house development is happening, and there are some legacy sites which are involved in the development of or maintained over the 1100 sites. So altogether, the PNG owns 1500 plus sites, which is continuously evolving. So which is a huge database. So what is happening is, like, based on these sites, we are continuously trying to scan these sites so that we can provide them the security status, what is okay, what is not okay, and then they play the development part, or the third parties or in-house production plays a very important role in order to remediate the issues we fix, because even if we identify any vulnerabilities and we don't fix it, it will not help us, or it will not help anybody. So we have to fix what we find out, and we have to close the open vulnerabilities which was identified. So these parties help us in order to remediate those vulnerabilities. So this is another challenge for us to understand the purpose of the website, because sometimes what kind of information these websites have, what is the criticality of these websites have. So for that perspective, we have to also work with the brand owner in order to identify and based on these information, we also sometimes categorize the vulnerabilities. So this also provides us the business intelligence to make a conscious decision for each vulnerabilities. We can say like that. So of course, we must keep ourselves updated with the new threats based on, the speed of the technology evolving. So with that perspective, we are also integrated with the threat intelligence, and we are working together with our cybersecurity team, which is not just Webscan, but we have other teams as well. So together with that, we are working in order to keep ourselves updated. And before any site released to the consumer, or we can say that the internet, public facing internet, the whole stakeholders are coordinating together in order to ensure that these sites are secure, whatever we are launching to the public network. So this is a huge process which is we are running in the PNG, and together it's not just a one team, but it's just the compliant, the order, or it's the process which we are running together in a teamwork. So yeah, it is a big process which we have. So Karolina, maybe. Okay, so here I would like to go more into depth and explain what we do in order to assess the vulnerabilities and how we do that, in fact. So far I have been given you the very high level of introduction of what we do, how we do it, and who are the stakeholders involved in this process. But if we go more into depth, then we have an idea, or we believe that the prevention is always best approach, in rather than identifying it at the later phase and then realizing it that you have lost something. It's better to identify it at the earlier stage, and we always try to do that. So that is why we have this approach where we are scanning all the websites and trying to identify if there is any vulnerabilities. So if any site or mobile application has any vulnerability, so just these are the first steps for us. So it will not have any value if we don't have any action to take. So like I said earlier, that we need to have some actions and remediation of these vulnerabilities which we identify. So we work along with the developer and the brand owner back to back, so that we can fix this issue and release the website to the public networks. So these are the process which we can fix, which we are running so far in PNG as a Webscan service. So again, like I said, it's not one team effort, but it is like the team effort, by not just for the InfoSec, but also from the other brands and the developer, third parties, legacies, and everybody is involved in this effort. So yeah, it takes time, but we ensure that whatever we are launching is secured. So yeah. So Karolina. Okay, so just a quick introduction. So far that was the introduction of what we do, but maybe before explaining this slide, which is self-explanatory, I will give you a bit more body of what we do is like we have this vulnerability scanner. So we scan this with automation and we club it with the pen testing thing. So not just to have the automation scanner, but we also do the manual testing so that we ensure that nothing going to the public network is a false positive, or whatever we are sharing to the developers or the app owners are the genuine cases of vulnerabilities, not something false positive, what we call in our language. So yes. Now, as you can see in this slide, the team is global. P&G is a global company, so we have, like I said earlier, we ensure that we are providing 24/7 service. So our team is spread across. So right now we have a team sitting in Manila, and I'm from Poland, and we have also a team from US. But right now for the Webscan, it's only the team which we are coordinating between US, Manila, and Poland. So the core team is it's like you can see that the P&G is a skill-driven company, and it has a huge diverse environment. So there is no differentiation between a woman or man, or like the integration. P&G always encourage the diversity or integrity within the company. So I think this is a very plus point for P&G, because we don't have something like the priority or some preferences in these cases. So which is very good, because it is purely based on the skills. So Karolina, the next slide. Okay, so this slide would be, I think, the last slide. So this is something which I would like to share with you guys, because this is the very important slide for us, and we are sharing whatever the extract we have received so far after working years and years on this web scans. And I think it would be good to make a note of you for the future use as well. So for the security practices, like I said, that we would like to have the security not as a part of IT check at the end, but we are looking also to have the security right from the beginning integrated in the SDLC, so that the security will not be the check and at the end of when you are going to release the product, but it should be starting from the beginning, and it goes along all the SDLC, so all the software development life cycles. So that will help you to save a lot of effort, which you have to do at the end if you find something vulnerable. So definitely it should be the part of the beginning, not at the end. You need to also the training and educating your the developer is very important, which we have seen in our cases, that they should be continuously trained and educate about the best practices about the security coding, encryption, and access controls, which we have been identifying now, and we are in fact doing it for them. So this is very important part, that you need to keep on training yourself, or your team members, or somebody from your company, so that they are well aware of the security codes and what are the latest vulnerabilities running in the market. So so these are something very important for us as well. So if I move to the next one, so in-depth vulnerability check for website before they release to public network. I think this is what I have been telling everybody, that we need to not to release the site just like that, but we have to ensure that whatever we are sending in the market is and it's secure. Whatever the customers and the consumers are accessing should provide them the proper security. So definitely this is our part, our main focus point. Besides that, the three things, the regularly security scan we are running, so that we ensure that nobody has impacted the websites we own, or something bad happens or breach happen in the site. So to ensure that nothing is happening, we are continuously running a scan on them. Code quality is something which we encourage the developers and the DevOps team to introduce from the beginning, and to check before they launch the site. So which is also important, the code quality, and if there is no leftover passwords in the system or in the test environment or something like that. So yes, the sixth point is very important about the website resilience. So when some attack happens, how far a website can take it's very important for us to determine that if the website is crashing instantly, or it can take some more attacks and it can go further for more, so that the business doesn't get impacted. So this is also one of the points which we check, and we encourage the team to have it. So website resilience is one of our lessons learned as well. So I think these are all the points which we have to share with you guys, but definitely there are much more we can share. And in fact, there is, for us also, every day is a learning. So we have experience. It's not like once you learn it and it's over for the day, but no, we have the cases every day. We are learning every day. So I'm happy to be a part of this process, where I am encouraged, or I am being pushed every day to learn new things, to do better job, and also, so definitely it's a good process. So I think that's all from my side. So I hope I have been successful in providing you a small glimpse of our lives as IT security enforcer. And all through actually my university days, I was always inspired by the cybersecurity. So freshly out of university, I did not have any avenue to pursue my dreams. But later I got the opportunity, and I am happy to be the part of this. And actually, I would also like to make a comment here that you can see that in my team also, women are also participating more than ever, and they are breaking the glass ceiling in the field of cybersecurity. So I encourage everyone who is an aspirant of the cybersecurity to come and forward and join. So I wish all aspirants all the very best of luck. So I think that's all from my side. Karolina, I think, do you have anything to share?
I think that's it also from my side. So thank you very much for listening, and let's come to the questions.
Okay, so thank you very much. It was very interesting, especially the part about the lesson learned. It's very good to know that you are sharing that kind of information. Can be very useful for many companies. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and that was our last presentation for today. So let me just skip for Polish from now. Szanowni Państwo, dziękujemy bardzo za uczestnictwo. To była nasza ostatnia prelekcja dnia dzisiejszego.